Good afternoon and welcome back to our last teaching session. I think I missed a few words in this morning's announcement about Guru Rinpoche's birthday. So before Khenpo start that, I'm going to I'm going to mention that. Khenpo said the sadhana which we're going to use tonight is not the usual one, which usually we do on 10, a sadhana called shower of blessing, which was written by Mepam Rinpoche, and today is a little more extensive, little more elaborated than that. And this is called Kunchu Chindu. It is a treasure revealed by Jatsun Yingpo, and this particular sadhana was compiled by the Jamgon Kongtrul the Great. So we are going to do Kunchu Chindu for Guru Rinpoche's birthday celebration tonight. That part I missed this morning. Also. Tese gyalpo laso thamje gis dari man thol sar dimar. Odan dari man lega sar sadan.
Irme choro. Tese gyalpo laso thamje gi teji gube shuwa shubale tala dunsi jamgi namkala dagi jewe korgi chushindo tele dorje kurni shingbayi yulde kyo thamje kechila Maybe Tendo Tamji Kajushi. De Tena, then Jelbo La Soba, that Jelbo down, Lumba down, Bang, Mede Tamjegi, Zeji Gube, Shua Shubala, that Kachunara season, then Shua Shuba in Saredo. Then Shua Pulwa down, then Tala dunsi Sangye namkala se tala dun sing tala no sing tala ge che dun gi che samjigla namkala ya phakne dragi jewe khorgi tene dela khanroma jewe khorgi khorgi cheba phushindo Tene tele dorje gurni shengbayi telebe tene kache de dorje gi guru gi tsuldo tene sungbayi shengbayi yulde kyo tamje kechigla ngebe tendo tamje kache shek tene di yulgi kyo tamje mi tamje gi tene kechigla ngebe gi tuen 다 최고 게된 된 동네 탐지 되네 가주 가주에서 네 다과 가주 이게 신감라 되네 셰바른 페바레 Jonger Chembo de Yang Dongbar Jurse. Then Jonger Sama Dongba Chawara, Jevo Lumba Bang Tamji Kajula Peta.
To continue from this morning where we left off, where all the Dharima, the prostitute, along with her retinue, instantly liberated and become inseparable of the principal wisdom Daikini. At that time, now this is new, from here is new. They said at that time, Telopa was requested one-pointedly by king and so on. So on includes the minister and the general public there. Requested him to teach them because now they know who Telopa really is. Telopa, how great he is. So they think with the respect, they one-pointedly requested him to teach. At that time, then he taught. The way how he taught, or page number 113, Lama Zoba, if you're looking, and the second line, continue from this morning. That's why I thought, okay. Any one of you, if you are using the Tibetan text, then page number 13, and then second line. And then he taught, but the way how he taught was, he just okay, he taught from space. So he just jumped into space at the size as high as this tala is usually we translate as a palm tree. You know what palm tree is? Okay, so if you put 7 palm trees together on top of another, then you know how much the height is. This is about that. He's not exactly, it says about that high. He just flew on the sky, then he taught from there. When he was requested by king and minister and so on, one pointedly with full of respect, then he just flew in the sky as high as if you put the 7 palm trees together on top of another, then this is the height mentioned here. And then because if he flew too high, then people cannot hear from the ground, right? So he just flew until that high. But anyway, that is from my own. And then he sang, which is we call the Vajra Doha, Dorje Guru. And because of his teaching that was taught to his Vajra Doha, all the people there of that particular village realize the Nithartha, Nebedun Nithartha or ultimate nature, which means the Dharmatha, or they realize the emptiness, or they realize everything as it is, which is Nedun in Tibetan. If you want to know the Sanskrit word, then this is what Nithartha means, Nithartha, Nithartha. And then even you use a different way of saying, when you say you realize the Nithartha or the ultimate nature, that means you already become enlightened. So they all become enlightened, and all of them went to Kacho. Kacho is again a different way of, literally it just means the Ka is space and Cho is the one who enjoy there or who remain there or who flies through the space, Kacho. But this is particularly here a name of pure land. We usually get the pure Khechara. Khechara is Sanskrit word, okay? If you want to know the Sanskrit word, Khechara. Khechara, and usually this is described as a pure land of Vajrayogini or Vajravarahi. And then also generally this is Takpa Khacho means a pure Khechara. So, since all people become instantly liberated or by realizing the ultimate nature, the Nithartha, and they all went to Khechara or Khacho, then that particular city where he was teaching at the request of king and the people there become empty because nobody was there. They left. They all went to Khechara or Khacho. And then the city become empty. The great city, it says, the great city become empty. No human habitat there anymore because they all become enlightened and went to Khechara. Lasso.
Dongge Dongbarjur Dene Xianyang Dongge Chembe Yu Lang Cho Pensom Tobi Me Chong Me Kim Dojin Changnam Pene Shek Dayang Dongge Chembo Di Usu Dene Me Chong Ma Lang Cho Pensom Toba Jigyosari Di Kim Dojin Dene Changnam Pene Shake. The Changyang Chongyosaredo, Chang Changma, Chilola Pene, Boshan, then Pepsomare. Suji Mashe Yangen Jeshindo, then the Changi Jinda de Superina Hamagon. Then Chang Chong Rendu. Chang me netene yangen je shendo deban Lariang nangmar chuluk chang duba dene di chang bebege ne di nangla chulu ne yang gang chu jang xiaodu da changma chang chaba chang le julso chu dang chang duba Lariang Nangmar Chulu Changlu. Chigana 데레스네 양엔 제신도 라량 창 기네 나라 추룩네 창쇠바인바레 창쇠네 두번 라량 준네 창쇠를 살라페 양자를 팹네 디 창사바스에 잡아디 코란 셰야디도 셰 되는 셰 마사바디 포 칠로라 포스네 포샤번 데체 중네 동데 로다르제 되네 데가블라 데 창송 디 진다데 연다데 저기 텔로바 송네 되네 동네 동다 당네 되네 로난신 소샤바레 세다
And again, Telopa was performing a yogic conduct. A yogic conduct. What happened was that, again, in the middle of that great city, there was a very beautiful young prostitute who also sell chang. Chang is the Tibetan beer. That's the only word we can use in English. But chang is something made out of usually barley or sometimes also from rice, and that is something that is alcoholic, a beverage. So anyway, so then he went to this house of this particular beautiful young prostitute who also sells chang, and he destroyed all the chang there, all the beer, and he just left. And then nobody knew who did that. Nobody knew who did that, but all the chang or beer are gone. Then the owner who sells the chang become full of suffering, worried because they lost their business. And then again, they tried to make new chang, new beer, by pouring water in the container where you make the chang. And they are getting ready to do that, and they actually made already. Then he came back again. Telopa come back again, and he just drank all the chang, and then whatever he could not finish drinking, he just throw here and there. At that time, then he got caught, and then he was beaten up until he looks like a corpse, dead man. He was almost, maybe I can say he was beaten up at death, almost he was die. That's all. Then as soon as the rotor change, then I was
로다르제 장메 치르방 장링 보르샤네 센다 장메 사 장메 세데다 가레 장메 세jedna 알레 렌랑 망베기 바도 강발라 떼네 강반에 떼네 치료라 파유 라이나네 라량 대길 창망 랍도된 양 창기 진다데도 양자를 대 쯧네데네 창수바 인진 창전 정말인데 말다롱내장 양 창디 야 소차네 창총인데 창남 통신 테미버를 양절 둘레네 되네 창 코랑 통고 통체디 통마스 퍼디 차상 치료라 버셔버네 대대 창성의 부당제 럽트 튕기 때로 dum부를 절 둠네 두트네서 벌어주는 되네 창성마디 미덕 다 초가당 무당 다 강다를 아바 아마부 창만 트네 딜로발라 콩로사네 되네 당네 딜로바 수보디 꾸속디 dum부 자적도 둠네 Then do tricky neso borwa yin, do tricky salapa yuba yin. Borwa jur, dema talk to telo kim der pep. The dumbo dumni do trilla yuk some korang the nangla lady, youngjar televa the korang the nangla lepto. Dede Changzong Mane Changme Gi Nyangen Zhabo Jijing Dubala, then Delawanja Nan Beden Changzong Made Da Chang Songya Me Chang Yagan Lede Chang Songya Me, then Nyangen Ji Semla Dungel Jene De Du Dubala. Korwa Ningbo maybe Che Sung Name, then a digala Delobe, Korwa second, the Ningbo maybe Tul. Korwa Ningbo Meba, Korwa La, Dewa maybe Che Mambo Sung Name, Larian Changnam Martyr Yubarze, then a Conreg to Region Chang Gine Tangmadene, Chang Yuba, Chang Gang Deva Yuba. Drupta zene dene zene soebare. Dene changsong ma de chatel gul lare chang nangar da yobar ze dene.
So in this way, he was kicked out so many times from that house where they sell the chang or beer. By beating him, after he got caught, then he was beaten up until he became almost a corpse, which means almost dead. Then he was kicked out many times, and he was just left there, who looks like a just corpse. Then those who are selling the chang, they prepare another good rice chang. It says now it mentioned very clearly, rice chang, not barley chang, rice chang. And then when they are ready to sell this chang, he come back again. Just like before, he just came back without having any problem. Even he was caught and beaten up until he almost dead, but he just come back without any problem, just like before. Then again he did the same thing. He just drank all the chang, and then whatever he could not drink, he just throw it here and there, everywhere. And that time, and this particular woman who was selling the chang, and to get along with her husband and her children, they become all of them become very angry with him, Telopa, and now they use weapon, some kind of weapon. It doesn't mention what kind of weapon. It's just by weapon. Telopa was cut in pieces, in 100 pieces. Cut in one pieces, and they just threw in the China ground. And then when they come back, Telopa just appeared there in their room again, their home again. You know, when he was left in 100 pieces, cut up in 100 pieces and throws in China ground. But when this family come back their home, Telopa just appear in their home again. They came there. And then this family, they are in a great sorrow, great grief, because all of their business was destroyed by Telopa, not only one time, so many times. And then at that very moment, then Telopa taught them. He gave a teaching about how meaningless the samsara is. The word here is called Ningpo Meba. Ningpo means how there is no essence in samsara, which means how meaningless the samsara is. And then after he gave this teaching about how meaningless samsara is, or let's say the shortcoming of samsara, then he, by his miraculous power, all the chang that has been drank by him and thrown here and there become exactly as before, without any decline. So all chang become. At that point, then this chang seller, here the chang seller, which means the same person, the young beautiful prostitute, chang seller become 하기 따뜻한 게래면도. 차 되는 창송마대 차설 꿀스나 받나 받더래. Okay. Then the Chang seller become very, very devoted to him because now they know he is a Mahasiddha. Whatever he done earlier was a conduct of a yogi, and they become very devoted to him, and they make their prostration to him. Prostration, not frustration. Okay, prostration. Frustration very similar. Prostration. Okay, that's all.
Then 창송마대 착체 꿀 다고 창송마대 대박겠네 되네 착체 되네 꿀마 편지를 최송으로 제는 꿀마 되네 대체 때로 남가를 적으로 부쇼 되네 달로와 때마 타도 남케기 인라 되네 저희 그룹에 나도 쇼바래 도르제 고르송 깨직 되니라 창송마대 결동 제신도 남가를 된신라 왜 거탑주를 저런 대네 남 대텔로바 남가를 자유구르나 쇼네 도르제기 고르송메 도르제 고르송메 깨직 되니라 창송마대 두바톱네 되네 길동 제신도 남가르 띵신 라베 거탑제 되네 수쿠수버 남가라 띵 라베게 되네 거탑 제기도 제바는 대대 창송마의 다보라 보당 요코로 창류의 족 분석도메 대징 솔완다베 솔다베 되네 창송마 대 두바텀네 되네 차바당 되네 창송마 디 다보 초가당 보당 요보당 코를 되네 대마세베 창녀행이 족 탐제 되네 두용도 다 분석 두마 차님 대 탐제 대박겠네 양 들어봐라 소한다변 담화 나오러 치시는 소한다변 계직들라 탐제 가지 톱대 소란다바당데 계직들라 탐제 되네 다고 가지기 살을 세워 토바래 사토 다고 하지 사토바래.
And then when this Chang seller, the woman, especially the woman, the lady who sells Chang become very devoted to him, and she prostrated him. At that time, then again, Telopa performed a miraculous performance by having a rainbow tent with the rainbow tent, Jagur. Ja is rainbow and Gur is tent. Rainbow tent in the space from where he again sang the Vajar Dohas, Dorji Kursum. And then at that very moment, when he was doing that, then this particular woman who sells Chang was liberated. And then she also flew in the space with Vaja posture cross-leg, and then with Vaja cross-leg, and her hand was in the dancing posture. Garthap is dancing posture. So that when she was liberated, then her husband, her children, and her helper, including all those who have bought Chang from her, in total, many hundred thousands, become very devoted to Telopa, and also maybe to her also, because now she is also yogini. Then they supplicated to them, to Telopa. Then all of them achieved Kechara. Kechara is the kachu. In this, in here, Chame Rinpoche used the word achieve or attend or receive. They attend, which means they also went to Kechara or kachu. Also, Kechi the Tamje kachu tops. I can't but don't kill them.
탐지도 대내 신비 종교의 첨보나 다 창성마대에서 정말 매 총마다 창종마 창마 뚫 차네 다 두바 덮터는 되네 신배기 정도도 시만 신배 정도 첨번나 년래야 샘진 제와 탁 멍수 신배 조 샤남 조신 내세 되는 니마를 레신의 샘진 제와 탁 멍버 쓰기로래 배샤한 시간 첨번 되는 달로바 페드 신배 조 신배 조香南造型的先辈给做找过的下村的下他不了下村的没当下村的态度在那村呢。这些电路吧也做出点，但那电路吧做出点呢，做出个人的嘛来着呢。先辈做一步的保住呢，长南跟到这样蛮年呢。但那先辈步的，他电路吧给种出去呢，马桶话说呢，别小问。되네 매샤도 혼자 부디 가봐 채나야 많이 마토 총남 군도 저량 많이 저 샬로 노장 촉 가봐 채나야 많이 봐 라량 김도 옹네 멜스데 샤남 조에 네데 카체베 랑기 부디 원숨 저 동네 되네 촉 참제 가봐 저바이네 부디 많이 되네 초 롱네 그 나라래네 메소 잡 되네 샤츠 샤베게 네도 같이 따도 되네 코랑기 부디 다디 샤츠베 저만나라 통화래 원좀도 다 여버 통연 통반 원좀 저 통내 다 저바디 통내 깨마 당내 볼라 샤틀네 동부르 띠징 저소 셈바 모단 셈베 코르 끈기 고시 모데 잡 데네 셈베 저 아마디 네 카치데 부디 샤이 네나라 저여 통네 당에 마랑기 부디 샤라 툴네 샤임바 툴네 마랑기 부디 tumbu tumne 네 샤라 저샤도 제네 데네 셈바모 아마데당 셈베 코를 끈기 거신도 데네 장마 데네 베게 첨바 잡는 문에 데네 모르게 잡네 데도 참 대세 남계인네 때로이 쉘된 보양 둔도 여바르제 탐제 밀람 총시 고르송배 되네 대갑라 때로베 되네 남계기 인라 쇼네 남계기 인네 쉘된네 되네 보양 대양 좀들게 식네 보데 코란 둔라 여바 통화 제 되네 최 탐지 밀람당 총바레 되네 고르송배 대마 타도 신배 두바토 되네 대마 타도 신배게 아마디 두바토바레 남가르 방네 차들 거라제 네 아마디게 남가르 텔로바 슈살라 되네 남가르야 푸르네 되네 텔로발라 차들 텔로발라 거라제 제 종바레 되나
From the time being, Telopa is done with working for the prostitute and the chung seller. Now he's doing something with the butcher, the city of butcher. The butcher, the one who kills animals. Khenpo, in Tibetan we say Khenpo, butcher, right? You pronounce butcher, okay. And it says, the text says, after that, which means after all, this chung seller, her husband and her attendant, and including all those who has bought chung from her, become enlightened. After that, now there is a great city of butchers, which means where all the butchers live together and their job is killing animals. And it says every day, every day more than 10 millions. more than 10 minutes, or many 10 minutes. Because in Tibetan we have different name. When 10 minutes, we don't say 10 minutes. There's another name. You know, because in English we have to say 10 minutes. There's no name other. But in Tibetan, Chewa is name of the 10 minutes. So we don't have to repeat the million again. So when it's many Chewa, there's many fold of 10 minutes. Okay, so it could be 100 minutes or 1,000 minutes also. So Chewa Tama. So where every day many millions, 10 minutes animals are killed. At that time, when Lama was visiting this city, the chief of the butcher, the main person, the chief of the butcher, was cooking some meat at that time. He was there cooking some meat. And then by miraculous power of Lama, the Lama just made by his miraculous power that the son of this chief butcher who was cooking meat disappeared and nowhere to be found. So they looked everywhere in every direction for their son, but they could not find the son because it was hidden by the Lama. You know, this is how the yogi do. Okay, then Khenpo put the pork in Sonam Manyene. Even they looked everywhere in every direction, they could not find the son. And then they come back to their home after no hope of finding him anymore, and they are resting at home. And then, as I said earlier, this chief butcher was cooking meat at that time. So then when he came back home without finding his son anywhere, then the pot in which the meat was being cooked is still on the stove. So he just opened the container in which the meat was being cooked. Then he saw his son was being cooked in that pot. You know, he see a real, not something like without any doubt. He see really his son was being cooked in that pot where the meat was being cooked at that time. Then he said, Kema is a sound of sadness, like Allah, so alas, right? You say alas, or something like this. Alas, by mistake or by confusion, I have cut my son in pieces and I have cooked him in this pot. And then when that was heard, and his wife, Khenpo, and all the retinue, the butcher retinue, they all cry with a very loud crying, weeping, right? Weeping sound, which filled everywhere of the weeping sound, crying. Their crying was so loud, it filled everywhere. Then, at that time, then from the space, from the expanse of sky, or just spaces, okay, now there's a in Tibetan is in a beautiful way, poetic way, but it just means from the space, from the sky. Then Lama showed his own face from space. Then he again met that the sun was alive and just appeared right in front of them with the butcher and then his wife and all the retinue there. And then he sang a song at that time, the Lama song, which main message or teaching of song was, he says, everything is not different than dream, or everything is equal or to dream, or everything is similar to dream. And then when Lama taught this word which says everything is like dream, right away the butcher was liberated and he became a Siddha. Namkhar Pane, Chasa Kowaje. Namkhar Pane, Chasa Kowaje, Kora changing the Sui Chesa, the Suin Circle. Namkhar Pane, Kora Chesa did the changing the Suin Circle.
제겐디
템바드로 제사디 텔로바드로 then since the butcher become city, now he also have miraculous power, so he also flew in the sky where Telopa was. Then he do circumambulation of Telopa in the sky or in space. Also.
대덕 통외 다 대수 다 주바 토바 남갈라 파와 대수 통외 신배 촉남당 되네 율걸 될라네베 절송 리덕 인체 근 탐지 깨지니라 리즌 사도보 깨지지라 되네 리바드미사 도르제 창기 고방 토바레 네.
맞소. 니벨.
네, 리 직접.
Then, after seeing these two persons, Telopa and the butcher, who is now a Mahasiddhi again, seeing them, all the crowd of butcher, Khenpo, including all the animals, Dosong Rida, Kejinila Renzin, Hopo, Kejinila Renzin Satopo, including all the animals, in instant they attain the state of Vidyadhara, which is again no different than the Kacho, only different terminology. Rinzing Sa is the state of Vidyadhara, which means same, the ultimate result. That's all.
다 당보 매송마들 되는이바 창성마들 숨바 셴바들 다 시바 ngak바들로래도 되는 ngak비 종결의 첨번에 링악 창와 때문에 누된바 누뱅아제 신도 버위 둔다 양 종결되라 되네 다 종결 지란 ngakpa pe mesebi nuba chembadang denba dene korang nuba yepa shindo dene nga nuba dang denba nga le lakwa me samege nga jel ya shindo barwa shindo nga je chemba yoba dene jigi dundu pen dene tele tamel ke sukdul ne ngakpa dela tenjuk yi tukbe dene delo ba tamel ba ke keo केवल तमिल भाषिक तो टूलने माकवा दी दुनिया डने माकवा देला टेंजुक यूट्यूब है तब माकवा देला तेरे ngarangi टेंडर जगह में से तब तुझे दी टेंडर जगह में से तब नहीं होगा ना यूट्यूब माकवा ठुदे सुमम ngam ने रिया शायद चिंदु सेदो सेरसे तेरे माकवा दी कांग्रेस लंदा चने तेरे 양나 샤보 숨느링라 저랑에 세기 양나 샤보가 델레링나 샤보 든 천jel라 저랑 도사메세 다 샤보 든이 난걸라 저랑에 세야 인생 나고에 된데라부도 스나 도세르 메제 바르에 푸르브 링가 세르 데네 푸르부 라우달레네 딜드 데네 푸르번네데네 멜합랍 버기도 보즈나 아파 메바 델레데네 되게 데네 링가스를 링가 나타 제 수년데서네 디강라마 주고용은들 나세르 마기 뉴바 메리 버워르 버워웨 마기 뉴바 메리 랍버웨 당하기 뉴발라 때네데네 푸르바티즈네 멜합랍바른 통만나 용거 튕게 작도 잡징네 때네 용거기 튕기 데 링가기 강라파 쉐네 데 데도 선진 송 용거 튕게 잡징네 때네 코랑라 추 네바 메야기 제도 송와 저이 랑코로 송주르장 다 코랑당 코랑기 코르당 제바 상말라 되네 강조 송와 제게 그랬어요 다 제가 과신다기 추 네바 자 메토비야기 송와 제게 송화 제나양 그 송화되기 팬마다 오네. 샤학직 송네, 샤보직 삼네, 땡엔 티작 밥 ngakwa 땡인 데 투파잡 땡인 데 코랑기 돌아 밥은 티작 밥 샤니 렌네 보게 탁죽금zen 근데 샤니 바델라네 다 보게 바데 탁죽네 시송네는 부 탁죽네 금 대신 예들 코력 탐제네 대신도 다 코랑기 예들당 코르당 요거 탐제 라라 톡폭 라라 밥도시데 라라네 남간에 토밤네 되네 코랑기 코르 요거도 세 라라네 양라마 흉네 밥도시데 밥들 도 밥네요라 도린도라 양나로 밥도시 양나로 흉네시 라라네 네 gem바 폭네시 라라네 데네 대가 되네 시도가 라라 랑게 랑니 셋 하시네 되네 랑서 랑기 쩨네 시기요레 세줄네 막과 코랑 마도 탐제시 땅막과 코랑 집을 하버는데 진다 다 낭미당 제바 코력당 제바 차당 시사 말에 막과 이제 제대로 풀어 짝 내가 막과디 다 코랑기 막당 네바딜라 이체네 다 그거 레와 저거 체사네 되네 이체 제도를 다 투기 자격이 제도에 차상파 도를 풀어디 짝 홍콩의 식 청와대 멜라색네 되네 맹학된 되네 다 맹학 무베 되네 대도 되는 타벨 당동 치마차도 베 되네 라고 타베 장말홀라 되네 도스동 되네 치마차신도 바 미네 치마차신도 베네 미남 롤라 따신 딱바게 되네 유기 미디서 ngakwe 코르 때도 시시비 롤라 따네 되네 시베 장낭지게 요래 맞지 대단하신다.
So far, Telopa has worked for prostitute, tongue seller, and butchers. Now he is messing up with the ngakpa or tantric. Tantric means a mantra practitioner. It doesn't necessarily be a Buddhist mantra practitioner. Okay, so they have some kind of black magic also. Still have in India. There are so many tantrika still who do this kind of things. But anyway, here Chakme Rinpoche is saying then. There was a town or city called Town of Tantrika or Town or City of Ngakpa, where many Ngakpas reside there. And particularly there is one Ngakpa who has a great power of Vidya mantra. And then he is very powerful and there is no rival or no one can compete him or compare him. And therefore, he was very arrogant of his power of the Vidya mantra that he possessed. Therefore, the Lord just appeared in front of him in an ordinary form. He just emanated in an ordinary human form, just an ordinary being. Then he just tried to stir up the mind of this Ngakpa by teasing him. You know, Trukpa is stirring, stirring, which means he just tried to stir up the mind of Ngakpa by teasing him in different way. And then Ngakpa become very, very angry. And then Ngakpa says, within 3 days or 5 days, the longest, within a week, I will kill you. That's what Telapa was told by this Ngakpa. Because his mind has been stirred up badly by Telapa, teasing him in different ways. And then Ngakpa has so much power that the Kilaya Purba, which he used, actually has a blazing fire. He could manifest a blazing fire on it. And the Ngakpa Nuba made it up. And then, so he was trying to protect himself first, and including all that are close to him, doing all this tantric thing, like spreading out the blessed master seed, and so forth. But somehow, even he was trying to kill Telapa, all bad things happened back to him. It says, after one day, many thousands of unauspicious signs come to him, or unlucky omen, a bad sign, came back to him. And then when 2 days passed away, after he was trying to kill Telapa, his own son died, passed away by vomiting blood, which means coming blood out of his mouth, and he just died there. And then, in same way, likewise, all of those who are around him, his relative, his friend, his retinue, his attendant, all of them pass away except himself. The way how they pass away, well, some of them are killed by the thunder, the lightning. I think which is a lightning, right? Lightning here, with a talk, lightning. And some of them die by falling off cliffs. And then some of them pass away with some kind of strange disease. And then some of them just pass away without any reason. And then some of them committed suicide. And then now only that particular Ngakpa, who was full of arrogance and who was also full of power of Vidya Mantra, is left alone. He just himself. Then he become. What is the meaning of desperate? Desperate. What is the meaning of desperate? Desperate, right? Desperate. There's a word in English, desperate. Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah. Maybe then this is perfect here, because my translation doesn't say it. My translation says iche. It just says. That is what it means actually. Yes. The iche is you become hopeless. You become hopeless. Iche. My translation says disappointment, worry, despair, depression, something like that. But iche actually means you completely become hopeless now, saying that there's now nothing I can do. This is what iche means. Iche. So I think that he become desperate. It's better. And then he just throw away all the substances of that he used for his mantra, and especially he just broke his Kilaya Purba. And then I don't know how to translate that in English. You know, when you have a Purba, there's a tranquil place where you put the Purba. This is called Hong Kong, not Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong. So this he just destroyed Hong Kong, and then he just broke his Purba, so no Purba, and then also his mala, which he used for reciting mantra, he just burned it, and then he was just crying with his plucking hair. Can I say plucking hair? You know, hair. Usually you put the hair nicely, but when people become very sad, then just put carelessly, you know, and then like gorilla. This is I think Indian. I don't know if you do or not. When people really say that, they do something like like that, like gorilla. gorilla you do here, right? That's like that. So it's mentioned here. Tangdung means beating on his chest. But anyway, all bad things are mentioned here. Anyway, so and then he shed tear just like rain. That means he cried continuously without stopping his tear. And then minam rola tanshi tak baike. And then all people around there who are still alive, who are not included, one of his retinue or friend or loved one are not killed. Only those who have a special connection with him, whether friend, relative, or his attendant or student, whatever, all of them are killed. And then now all the corpses, the dead bodies are there. So all people who are still alive are very frightened by seeing so many corpses there. All of a sudden, minam rola tashi tak baike. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Te le nge so shel tendo tene delobe ngoma korangi shel ngon som de tembare janyen kebar mebe gur sungne da ngapa de la tene janyen kebar mebe ge gur sungma sekol tokbe tamje ngartar se tene gur sunne sekol tok delobe sekol tok badang tene di 시킨 차상 되네 야 수업are 내랑바래 되네 ngakba 데데 착철네 텔 직지 송배 ngakba 들 되네 ngakba 데 대박이네 차철로 되네 텔베 되네 담마기 직지 송별래 된 송발래 되네 ngakba 데 돌와래 다 두바 토바래 돌세데 두바 토바 초경을 좀 덮대 칼라 파고 더 ngakba 초경을 좀 덮네 되네 남갈라 보는 대르케 깨어 담제 두바 톱 사촉 딜라 유베 미 담제 되는 두바 톱 율데르 펠베 깨어 메바르 줄디 내갑질라 되네 디 율롱 딜라 되네 당마 두바 톱 샤당마도 되네 깨어 펠바 메바르 줄다 벤젤 참 달로게 참되나 참여부터 보시도.
So actually time is already up, but we would like to stop at a very good place, and we found it now. So after that, after Telopa giving a hard time to Ngakpa, now he's giving him a good time. That's how all these yogis does usually. Then Telopa, before that, Telopa was just pretending to be an ordinary human being in a different form, in an ordinary human form. Now, when all this happened to Ngakpa, and Ngakpa was totally desperate, and in full of sorrow and grief, then now Telopa shows his own face, which he's a Mahasiddha, and then he taught him. And then this teaching, actually each of these teaching includes very profound instruction. If we take them seriously, we can also practice in our life. So, Telopa taught in this, because usually this kind of tantra had even they have the very power with their mantra, but still they have this very strong sense of thinking loved one, which we call near and far. Enemy as enemy and relative as relative. So this is their problem. That's why you have to be careful with the tantrika. Otherwise, you cannot mess up. Unless if you have the same power as Telopa. Then now he said, so because of this Ngakpa's arrogance, now Telopa is teaching about not being any different in the ultimate between loved one and between enemy. They are same. They are equal in the ultimate. So in this teaching, Telopa taught to this tantrika Ngakpa about Danyen Keperme Gurusungne. No differentiate between enemies and loved one. Nyen include your relative, which you have blood relation. Now also all that the loved one is better, I think. So he says he taught this, then he just snapped like that, Seko Tobe. Then at that moment, after he taught this teaching, which includes the teaching on undifferentiate between loved one and enemies, then he did the snap. Then all people that were dead become alive. They revive. They become alive right away. Then the Ngakpa now become completely out of arrogance, and he was ready to prostrate to Telopa. Then he become full of devotion to Telopa. Then he prostrated to Telopa. So that particular verse of Telo actually liberated the Ngakpa, which means the teaching on not being different between relative and enemies, or loved one and enemies. Then Ngakpa not only liberated, he actually achieved what we call supreme siddhi, the ultimate result, fellowship, kalapa. Then this Ngakpa or tantric also flew on the space, and then all the people who are there at that time also achieved and become a Mahasiddha, Tupatop. Then at that moment, at that particular area, there was no ordinary human being left. All become Siddhi. Okay, we will stop here for this year, and then we will continue from here next year again. Now we will have a break for 30 minutes, maybe 24 minutes. Now it's already 6 minutes has passed. Then we will have the Q&A session. Let's do the short dedication. Sonam deye thamje zikba nyen thopne nyebe ranam phamje ne gega naje bala druba tebe solen doan dovare sho enjambalam bhavo chitra kheba da kunda sambo teyan yada kunje jasan dalab je gewa thida thamje rabdo mo sangye kusum nyebe senla chunye mingyur dembe senla Gende mejen dembe shela jetrang malan roboraisho. Okay, exactly 3:37 now. So we start our Q&A session for today, which is also last class for this year of Khenpo Orginla. Not last class of the 10-day teachings. We will have one more teaching from His Holiness tomorrow. Okay, I have some questions from yesterday. I'm going to read them first. This is from yesterday. Was Milarepa and Marba an emanation of Vajradhara from the beginning, or did they achieve that in their life? That I think means whatever they have achievement, right? I think. Mila reba da marba ni di thoma ni dorje changi tuba rebe se yang mena khona to motu de kuse de gana thob re se Mila da marba ni di labdula ti khasang gi ditu ati ke
Dengema Chidimela Revegi, Kabla Rang, Koran, Shobi Kabla Rang, Loma Tisugi to Jundova. Tenacharan Sangye Changyo Sambachiki Tuba in the Kande and Kane, non should Milarave Charan Zongala Sangye Tubare, Changes and Betubare. Yagore Inaya Chela Loda Dilichis Yomar Sung Tene Carreras and Sangye and Janis Metuba Mato Chela Nyamlen and Dezamgi Nivatayagi Ichimebare the Chan. In the Chela Loda to Chali. Then in the Varadana Conso George Chang Tuba Mare, Telo to a Suchi Mare, Che Rang Yamlen Jene, Chigi Nibala Tene, Tene, Conso Tuvatova, Chogi Muruto, Tene Chapain soon.
And it was actually something that was already answered by Milarepa himself when he was alive. Because when he was alive, some of his student asked him, you should be emanation of one of the great bodhisattvas such as Vajradhara and so forth. So please tell us who emanation you are of. Then Milarepa said to the student, it is very good for you in a way that you think I am emanation of substance, great bodhicitta. That means you have a pure vision towards me. But also at the same time, there's no greater wrong view than this on the Dharma. That means you don't still trust that by practicing Dharma, you can get the achievement. So I am not an emanation of anyone. I just achieved by the power of Dharma. That's what Milarepa answered to them. So this is the answer here, Sam. So in Marba, because in this question includes both Milarepa and Marba, so same case with the Marba also. It says also, and then now again one more from yesterday. What is the significance of Tilopa writing letter at a tree when the ugly woman approaches him in the forest? Kazan Tilopa nagla maheso de dinishing sing tala sing the Japton Egypt should till Mexico quad you best. Imsend you best. The came at Miduba so much in Liang book of Yang Conte Egypt should be better. Quay you best mix.
Lama tizo lama songye tizo da tridi jiro da ti yabuji ka.
I don't know for sure, but we can guess in different ways. Maybe he's just writing something that he wants to teach to the his student in the future, but I don't know for sure. Okay, now the next, and then this is again from yesterday. For supreme quality of Vajrayana, Khenpo mentioned sharp mind. What is the quality? Can Khenpo explain a little more? Kazanki sangagi kebar sumdi chigdi loma node ongbu nombu resni song se. Matil call test de jeshi gabrochi se tigi sanga kebar the papa khani sore don't do inside you. Tab mangwa de da kawa mebade sangagi to. Then ongbu nombu digi sangagi mix kebar chikare sores.
가방에 찍고 뒤에만 대링 태나니 전직 나야 마몽당 타망가와 매바당 왕번는 매왕집에 나기 대바티와라 파데 전직 나양 그데 가르르나 지상 주체니 대비게 람네 되나양 안다 상아더지 대비 람네 되나양다 타르도 랩사데 상지기사 지바인 이나양 다 상아다 주체는 제발라 개발가를 열 때나 Tenzin nayang mamong dang de lam tap kebar chen la tene mongba meba mamong ba dang tene tap kebar chen mongbo tap mongbo yoba dang tene kawa dolam nashin kalchen dang me sumla soba kawache megoba dang tamang kawa meba dang wangbo nembe wangjebe ngagi teba kebar ba ene wangbo nembe de kebar do baba de wangbo nembe ma do sangagi 강도 지도 하신도 또 두기 요마라 데 상하기 람 개발전 또 발라 되네 강도 왕번은 뭐 왕버럽 고교 상하기 둘절 줄발 상하기 내도 줄 원원.
So I am going to explain everything again one more about this, all these three qualities that make Vajrayana more superior, and then Sutrayana. It says even the same meaning, but there's less confusion, and it has many methods, and it teaches you the way through which you don't have to go so much hardship, and this is taught only for those who have sharp mind. So this is actually the real question is here. But anyway, what it means, this sholok, the verse mean is, even ultimately you get to the same destination, whether you practice Sutrayana or you practice Vajrayana, Tantrayana, but somehow, since there's more method in Vajrayana, then it is more clear, more free of confusion. And that is the first quality. And second quality is, it says, there is more method that enable you to go through less hardship, which means usually in the Sutrayana it says you must first accumulate merit for 3 countless great kalpas. So this is what actually it means here. So in Vajrayana, if you are fortunate one, then we from these stories which we went through in this seminar, you know how we can be liberated in an instant. and then another is, which Vajrayana could be understood and practiced by only those who have sharp faculties or sharp mind. That's what it means. That's why it makes Vajrayana more superior again, because it cannot be understood by the ordinary people. And that's why it was kept sacred also. So this is all the meaning of why we say the third quality of Maya is all students should be very sharp mind, should have that can understand Vajrayana correctly without any mistake. Okay, again from yesterday, this Khenpo teach us what is the benefit of practicing dugar. Dugar ki phenyo khare re chik songro jes khasan dugar lungnang rawati chi.
Dugar ki phenyo de dene dugar nyamlen je na che dilla dene ken barche seya ken barche nang ne jang je ka phur ka la so begi ne ba tham je dog wala dene kebar do pa ba yin se dene che chi ma la dewa jin de ke la dene kang so le la bo dewa jin de ke wala dene get le la bo get tu be ge payin niba yes te kareresana dugar di sangye cheba megi yum centrally gi tuba imase ongo de yinzang dewa jinda ke ala tenele
Centrally ela aso central. Even there is a countless benefit of practicing dugar, but if I make it short for this question, then dugar is said to be one of the most powerful Lama or deities, female deities or Devi, to purify all impediment of this life and then practice. Especially, this is said to be the most powerful deity to purify. This is another word I don't usually find the trans. Curse, you know, curse. You say curse, like when other people do some black magic to you or something. Or also says sorcerer. How to pronounce that? Sorcerer. Okay. So to reverse them, we say dogma means to reverse. If somebody send you some curse by their power of mantra, then if you practice dugar, they will not be able to harm you. It will just reverse back there to them. And then another, and that's for this life. And next life is, it says, so it is also for the next life, and this is the most excellent practice to go to Devachan. Chakme Rinpoche himself says, if you practice this, then you will be like riding on a Garuda and going to Devachan in the next life. And then the reason is, again, this is also said that emanation of the Amrita Ayu's mother, who is called Chandali. And these are the reason why she has so much power to lead us to the Devachan in the next life. As Chakme Rinpoche says, this is similar to, it will be similar that you are riding on a Garuda. Garuda is usually considered to be the king of the bird that can fly in the sky. Then if you ride on Garuda, then it will take to Devachan. Okay. Also, Now question from today. Today, question about Buddha Amitabha. Usually I think of Buddha Amitabha in connection to death and going to his pure land, Sukhavati, immediately at the time of my death. But in Vaitara practice, Amitabha is sitting over Vaitara's head and pouring down the nectar of immortality to us and everyone whose life we are praying for. All our gurus, mothers, families, Sangha, Mother Earth, and all beings. Does that mean Amitabha is also a long-life Buddha? We can supplicate to help our gurus and all beings live longer. What is his connection to Vaitara? Tu endilana tu gundu ngana sambala selo. Oba mesingide 근데 시도 로바칭이 지고 대화전의 시도 함선 대화전 티도 해 근데 기사지도 삼당 요새 이는 런거기 나라 릭다데 오바메르도세 근데 릭다 오바메 전에는 콩기 차기 홍세는 두지디 마콩 좀 부갑서더니 다다된 다기다 수제도 체리냐기 소와다 베나 소소기 파마다 연절다 라마다 근데 상마 딜디스는 소와다고 두세 티지나더니 오바메디 세라제 차기 여러베세 ini ngarang so tukin do so gi rangni da lama da ne da so gasa ne sa changma che ren go na khong la swa dam na dig de bese di dor da na se ren ya di da ba ni ba la khari ki de ba yore se
de yen da ba me dang che ba me de ya di da chen zhen ji ka ga re ma do ngo chi ba ro so ene de yen dang 정갈 지고 말해야 되는 거도 단다 예초기 qabla 대가라 요런 세트기 qabla 되네 바메게 하모가에 차게 다다당 분배게 체 중화 신기관의 체냐마 중화 룽기관의 체냐마 중화 자기관의 체냐마 중화 서이관의 체냐마 중화 우기관 체냐마 탐지 국내 단에 담바 상지 바메게 차게 홍세를 팀거나 단에 차게 홍세네 마 단에 르네 밥네 단에 신의 가랑 들어 봐 단에 체림백이 쪽 체림을 모두 더발 공고
Yes, he is also a long-life Buddha because when we say Amitabha and Amitayus, they're exactly the same. Only we're using different name for different purpose. Actually, they are not different from each other. So not only in Vaitara practice, particularly in the Amitabha practice, when at the end, when we do this long life, then we said we summoned, right? Summoned, summoned, Kukpa, summoned all through the help of all these different dakinis, and also it says, like for example, the text itself says, if my lifespan has been declined by the such and such element, I mention all these 5 elements like earth, the fire and space, wind, and then the water and so forth. Then each of them is summoned back through this which we call datar. Datar is translated as the arrow, silk arrow. You know what that is. Then first we summon all the lives into his baking bowl. Then from there, then we receive to us. So he certainly is a long-life Buddha.
네, 맞아요. 그런 대면 나오는 시리아 제바이나야 두민치고 레게 넘버 멤버마도 바 세세 바양 로자 토버줄데 그뭐 바멜라서 남나 다른 게 체랑 조성화 있나 다죄 탑시 매버리 디마이 뭐 세세 바양 로자네 네 세세 바양 로자 토버줄데 때네 상제 좀 내라 공정 소원 답나 때네 겐 바르셰 강 있나요 때네 체 마세나 때네 겐 바르셰 가르 있나 디시네 때네 로제토가 그거를 된 송도 Legi number me mama to was tete bayan no le legi number me ba
Okay, so again, even in the Sukhavati prayer, the long life prayer, Sukhavati prayer, the long one, which was composed by Chakme Rinpoche himself, it says, I don't remember exactly the words in English, but the meaning is here. I'm not going to miss any meaning there, okay? Because I don't have the book here. It says, Lekin number member matokba sese by logia tuba dan tuminchua malo tober song, which means except if you are ripening the karmic result from lifetime, from previous lifetime, like number matoba, these are exceptional. If you have a karmic result that's ripening you to be dead, unless that even your lifespan is exhausted, it can still be extended. And then it says extended until you get 100 years. And then all untimely, we have so many different ways of untimely, it's called untimely death. You know what that is? Then all this kind of untimely death could be reversed, which means could be avoided. So in this case, also we can see Amitabha Buddha is no different than Amitabha Ayush. He is also long life Buddha. Okay, done with that. And the next one, Khenpo Sangye said, we would do Koncho Chundu, misspell, sorry, tonight. What time? What happens after the Karmapa's teaching at 9 a.m. tomorrow? 9 a.m. Maraba, 10 a.m. Maraba, Sangye? 9 a.m. Okay. Sangye tuni Khenpo Sangye ki kunchu jindu sokor lab songse tere chuso gazelo soya rese kora malgoinse tege dumba se sebo lab saro ngane china dumba re lab saro. Actually, it has been clearly mentioned we will do at 7 o'clock, but I think you didn't get that point. So kunchu jindu will be at 7 o'clock starting, and the ending is unpredictable. Then 상이 추소 구바라 경감마 바기 왕낭 가춘낭 사도 되지를 가 여러베세. Then we will do the mandala offering of appreciation. 무슨 수든 여러베 무슨 수든. And also we will be offering representative of body, speech, and mind. Okay. Now next, did the butcher's son sing the Doha? Or did the Telapa appear in front of the butcher and sing the Doha? Tagi de Shembagi Kurangi Dorji Kusong Yorbe, Yangmanani, Telapa Yangbagi, Butcher Mel Pemni Kongi Song Rese, Dorji Gurdi. Shemba Pukangi here. Maronation Shemba, the Dorji, the Telapa Namkani Shalte and Consul Song. So it was actually Telopa appeared in space, in the sky, in the space, and then he made that sun was alive right in front of his parents and older friend. Then the Doha was sung by Telopa. Okay, now next. What? This is already answered, Khenpo. This is from yesterday also. What is the significance of Telopa writing a letter while standing at tree when the ugly woman appeared to him in the forest? This was, today the first answer was for this question. We did already for that. Where have all the siddhas gone? If we had what does it mean? SQUADRON. Squadron. What is that? Where have all the siddhas gone? If we had squadron of them flying over, not in planes, then the Ukraine and Russia maybe that would interrupt the war. Oh, so did you get a question? I don't get the meaning here. What is being asked? So I can translate to Khenpo. Can anyone explain me this one? Okay, I got it then. First is no problem. It says where all the siddhas gone. Then Trupto Sangma Kawapep Song Rese. What Lama Sudram? What did you say? Scored wrong? What is that? Okay. Then scored wrong. Namdu Jure said, Walla. Namdu de Tito Tanta Dordona, Tanta Trupto to shoot the Yona. Then Russia, okay, you can but amount to the Yonsa Marva said. Tanta Trupto to shoot the Yona. Then I won't go so with the coin to the city. It's sure if she does them last day. Yes, if we still have the Mahasiddhas flying over sky, then there would not be such situation. Since we don't have them anymore, that's why it's happening. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. Does it really happen that practitioner can develop black magic with Idam practice? I'm confused. I thought Idam practice was for developing bodhicitta and the enlightened mind. Okay, I will ask Khenpo, but I think you didn't get what at the very beginning I said that Tantrika was not necessarily a Buddhist Tantrika. Okay, who was practicing. Anyway, let me translate this to Khenpo. Then Koran Koa learned taking Akbasara, two gay laro. He Koran around to Norni. Then around the Yidamki, Yamba, Tony, and Tindiki, two to be a Yerevese, Nape, that goes Monsonse. Nasamna, Yidam Sayidi, or Changju Sam, the Indian Dubiaki Tabre, the Tindi, two member Dubiaki Tabre, Tema Sonse, two the number to getting a son Lago Yomar, Korama Gormata. Let it love you, love it in a cake at the Sona. Like in Akba, the Shiro Napa in Game, what Nanga was saying Gimaro. You don't get no service on lighting in Jimmy Nangba in Akba in Gomares and the Lami to do.
Then she was Jeva Wang Dog Lacy the Tito. She was Jeva Wang Dagwa, she wanted she Lacy today. Then Yinayang the Xingju Sangway the Xingju Sangway not dealer, then the jig about Jig down. Then the Jube Delneva Gombe Soniva. Then Jube Delneva the two teacher named Xingju Tangway Daddy said over Gombe Soniva the that talk about the Gomba the Xingju Tangway Dog, Namshi, Xinghamla Partu, but then they Yuena, then Bejetang Chogam mother, the Maimba Bejetang Chogam, Jube Delneva Gombe Soniva Mena.
I can not shade the Abody in also. So, first of all, for this question, the Tantrika that was mentioned in the Theloba's life was not necessarily a Buddhist Tantrika who was practicing black magic. And in Buddhism, we have something called 4 activities, one of which is called the wrathful activities. But again, bodhisattva bodhicitta is never absent there. Bodhicitta is always there, even you are practicing or performing this so-called the wrathful activities. And this is not something easy that anybody can practice or perform. In order to perform this, you have to have a special power, which says you have to have the power of Dral, means healing the particular object who is accumulating lots of negativity in order to save him or her from being or going down and down. And at the same time, you also have to have the power of leading his consciousness to a pure realm. Unless we have this both power, you are not allowed, you are not permitted to perform any kind of these activities, which is called the wrathful activities. So therefore, even in the idam practice, you practice wrathful activities, but bodhicitta should be always there. You should have the motivation of helping that particular being, which we say, which has the xingju, means which has 10, let's say in xing is actually object or field or something like that, but here I can say maybe qualities, 10 negative qualities of that person, which will make sure him or her to be reborn in one of the lower realm. When you see this kind of beings, then with your bodhicitta, power of your bodhicitta, you try to help her or him by liberating. We use the word drol, means liberating him from that particular action and saving him from being reborn in the lower realm. That means you also need to have the power of leading him to the pure land after he is liberated. So this is how we practice relating with the idam deities. Also, okay, next one. Can Khenpo clarify the root teacher of the sixth dharma of Naropa again? Narocho dugil. Talai meji Narocho dugil. Zavel Lama duzo. Kegi jiu songro jese. Daigi duzo lavin sa ingi. Daigi ming duzo insari. Zagi injinan tengan labdo. Narocho dugil. Zavel Lama duzo. Kegi yangja jiu songro je. Tuji jese do.
Ano tip keme wan.
Ala kono. Kono na chik do di song chan di sarona. Na lutu da arian da chanda kit sama dai tep kono na. Kanko chame gi sum.
Maro khonda di shen so. Naro ba
ming di song.
naro churu di Tsomo julu di.
Zawe lama du sik du. Da yin gyu da gi di gawab gi lama du labin ser kono lama shin se. Zawe lama du sik du. Kogi diwan hala.
Dana shoke ne tene to ji se lao rawa ko ti lama di zane tangwa di ju bari te dana shoke ne nge to chao se la.
Laso. Anda chen de jigu ji men shan ne am tinzu tinzu re sen. Ila ne yan ko sam han ji ko kap ni tang ro ja. Ni mang ma ne ko nga sana. De ma ni ba nam du de lo nam to de ba ni ma na. An tin ne ma lu du da tinzu re song shakin tin sara. Koran tiwa tima to mendu su gunden su kari shuri ti mendu jinan lama dinzu se lama dinzu re song chen sara arela
angba are dewa tang tawa tawa tang matang gi
dingel youtube do hala youtube na do na tang bo to youtube re do ke cha aw den youtube on den
youtube are dewa tawa tawa madangi ene lohi ba tengi ba dari ka ba sukha dari tombi binasa lawa ba indraputi kalba songmo thanglo ba shinglo ba karnari ba
ata karela. So I actually have said this morning very clearly that you should put notes. When I was teaching about this, I told you clearly that if you want to know the name of these gurus, then please write down. I told that. But anyway, according to this text, I'm going to repeat one more again. They are Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, and Chantakirti, Matanki, Lohipa, Denkipa, Darikapa, Sukadari, Dompipa, Binapa, Lawapa, Indrabudhi, Kalba Sangmo, and Thanglopa, Shinglopa, and Karnaripa. These are the root gurus of what we call the four transmission or four direction. Okay, that's all. Now I have another. I read different version of Telopa's biography online, saying he became a monk and studied in Sheta, etc. How to deal with the different version? Internet online Telopa namto shenpa ji lo yin se na. Dino kong 자바치 셰다낭라 롭중체르스네 지드세 자바치 셰다낭 롭중체르스네 then 지단티 다 만다바 소 만다바도 칸드스네 또 툼바 소 거레스도 이거 다 찍나라 만다바 송지나 마사 마다 송나 디나 송야 도르나 디나로 송야 데 콜로에 나기 민도 논더도 다 이거 네 좋았던 기대
다 karma 참여라 치 남들 남게 남들 상회 남들의 망보도 디나신 tel로발라 다 치 남들 남게 남들 상회 남들 망보여지로
so the best thing how to deal with this different version is as we can see from the autobiographies of Chakme Rinpoche when he mentioned about his outer biography, inner biography, sacred biography, and most topmost secret biography. Like that, Lama also must have these different versions. And when they are teaching in different versions, then there could be different way of telling us the story. Also, okay, the next one. Why don't the Mahasiddhas come back and help us? 두부터 숲에는 가져올 간지라고 제가 요 말했을 텐데, 두부터 단다 숲에는 가져올 간지라고 말했어요.
알아서 얘기해요, 뭐라. 알아서 얘기해요, 뭐라.
Because we are not obedient enough to them, we don't listen to them properly. That's all. Okay.
가르라바디 알아서 얘기해요, 뭐라. 다 아바 아마 보고 칸이 뭐이나 랍자만 오래 그러지 카가 많이 게 보고를 랍자던데 내가 되마라 다 간에 잡는 얘기 말했대 대는 신 도도도게 신 내가 소망하서 얘기하면 많이 되더니
For example that we can take is a mundane family. If the children of a family are very obedient, then their parents just keep giving them good advice and taking care of them. If they are not obedient, then eventually they just give them arm and let them do whatever they want. So we are something like that. We are not obedient enough to the Mahasiddhas for them to come back and give us advice anymore. Okay, the next one. May Khenpo speak of the Rupakaya and Dharmakaya. Was Tilopa this true in his life? Was Tilopa this true in his Kegi Chuku Zugu Kola Chiksonro Jese. Then tell about the Chuku Zugunang, you're a best stick up to home. This is only machine in love. Chuku the Zugu say the Chiksonro Jes. Then tell about Kong Kusenang, the Chuku the Zugun and shoot the rest.
Hey, Joe the Sugu the Re. Then Telobe took the Chugure, Telobe soak the Sugure. Yes,
his mind was Dharmakaya and his physical form was Rupakaya. Okay, next. Next question. What is the meaning and name of practice? See, Khenpo is 100% correct. They just keep asking the same question again. Now someone is asking, what is the name of the practice we do? We have been saying many times, it's Konchu Chintu. So Khenpo is very correct. We are not listening. Okay, anyway, the last question right now I have here, if I don't get more from Lama Sonam, is what is the meaning and the name of the practice that we are going to do tonight? And what is its main function? That is the question. 꼰 초바 소야 돼 민가를 해서 된 돈다 그래 된 것도 꼰지지에서 가지 납차로 예미다 다로 이나 다에 케 지금 송구도 다 더도나 대인지 초바 소야 공다 초고서 민가를 해서 이게 돈다 그래 되게 제일 좋다고 그래 해서 그래도
다른 초바 소야 돼 꼰족지도 되게 어래 꼰족지도 되게 가래 세계 어래서 나딜라 라마 이담 칸도 숨여래 Tene Lama Kyobema Guru Merche, Idam Guru Dawa, Kandoma Thangi Dongbajen. Tene Konjochi the Labqua the Karesana, Lama Tamje, Tene Lamegi Rik Tamje, Ugyen Guru Merche, Dela Tangwadang, Dela Dugi Ore. Idam Girik Tamje Yonsovade, Guru Dawa Dela Dugi Ore, Tangi Ore. Kandre Girik Tamje, Tene Kandoma Thangi Dongbajen Dela Dugi Ore. 다 상하게 가서 jirtang kapso kanchok sum segere ta sanga gi kapso chawa sum segere de garetna chenab ge tawa tene lama thamje kurum chela du chang ngodob ge tawa yidam de da ngodob thamje ngodob ge jungong yidam thamje kurudago de la chang Trinley ki tawa khandro chojong sede tene khandro chojong tham Trinley ki tawa tene khandro chojong tham je khandro ma sangye dongma de la du changge yore de yang kunchok ta dang dang ji dang tanye ga de tin yang yong su du na di song ye kong su du ge yore changge yore de je na kunchok ji de kunchok tham ma tham je du ga de la kunchok ji de
So, what is the name of practice? First, giving you the answer for that. Name of this practice we are going to do tonight is called Koncho Chintu. And Koncho is translated as supreme and rare. And usually, supreme rare are the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha from the outer point of view or from the Sutrayana point of view. And then Chidu is embodiment or included or combined in one or union. It's a different way of saying. So what it says is that Kunchu Chindu means the embodiment of all supreme and rare. So from the Vajra point of view, supreme and rare are the Guru, Idam deity, and the Guineas. So in this practice, Guru Rinpoche is the Guru, and Idam is the wrathful Guru, Guru Thakur, and Dagini is the lion-faced Dagini. And then all of them are included in this practice. That's why it's called Koncho Chintu, this meaning. And then usually in the Vajrayana, we call them three roots. The root of blessing is Guru, and the root of Siddhi is Idam, and the root of activities is Dagini or Dharmapala. And then all different kind of Guru is included in Guru Rinpoche. That's why he become the embodiment of Guru. And all the Idams could be included in Wrathful Guru. That's why he become the embodiment of Idam. And all the activities that performed by the Daginis and the Dharmapala can be included into the lion-faced Dagini. That's why she become the embodiment of Dakini, and that's how this become Koncho Chintu, or the embodiment of rare and supreme one. So that is then Pemba Karia Sigla.
Lama yidam khandosum nyamlen jena Pemba Karia yong.
So that is answer for your question, which says, what is the meaning and the name? Now the next question you have asked is, what is its main function? Then Khenpo said, you must know what is the benefit of practicing Guru, Deva, and Dakini. That's all. That's the function of this practice. Okay, now, see, I told you, I already had two more questions from Lama Sonam while I was answering that. So, Tilopa had the power to save the prostitute, a chung seller, butcher, and tantrika from going to the lower realm. He was using his compassion and skillful to help them. So Tilopa had the power to save. What happened here? He was and there's no question. It's just it's the question you see. Okay, I read. So Tilopa had the power to save the prostitutes, tongue sellers, butcher, and tantrika from going to the lower realms. He was using his compassion and extraordinary skillful means to help them. So there's no question, right? No question. Tsomo mayin bi nuba de kong peji tang re de wa se tmo to kan tsomo mayin be kong yi tuk yin je chen bo da de nuba de peji tang re de wa se tmo to jwa kan men du ta sha sha ge la
tene da diwa mena de Kanjo Jide Nyamlen Jene Payangaran Dela Chigishinaro.
Also.
Gongdo Shugi Ti Diwabijan. Jintan Zawa Sumre, Lama Yidam Kando Sum. Zawa Sum said the Karere Sena, Chinlab Gizawa Lama Sekihore. Then Lame Ginyamlen Jela Tene, Chinlab Chasang, then Air Conso Lama Latin Togiore. Mutup Tamje, Mutup Gizawa Yidam Se, the Kare Segiorezana, Yidam Yamlen Jabala, then Mutup the Togiore. Trinley Gizawa Kando Chayang, the Kando Chayongi Yamlen Jabala, then Trinley Duptogiore. Or the then Lama Yidam Kando Sum Landene, Chinla Mutup the
So as I said earlier already, let me explain a little more about the benefit of practicing Konju Chindu, or general, the 3 roots. By practicing Guru, you will get the blessing. By practicing Yidam, you will get the siddhis. And by practicing the Dakinis or Dharmapala, you will be able to perform the Buddha activities. So in concise way, these are the benefit of practicing the 3 roots, which is also same with the Konju Chindu, which we are practicing tonight. Any questions inside this hall? Short one, not very long. We are getting out of time. And also we have some the interview. After that, we get ready for Konju Chindu. So we will end at the right on time, if not before that. We have 9 minutes left. If anyone have question, just think about the time, please.
I have a question for Susan.
Yeah?
On behalf of Susan, she wants to know if Khenpo can give the transmission for Konju Chindu.
Oh, Khenpo the Konju Chindu ilung nang digre bese. No time today for that. Okay. 다시 아시겠네. 건설하는 마음 땅사다. 다시 아시게. 알아? 나는 뭐 건설 뒤 사상이 걔 제가 죽인 수도. 근데니 걔 제가 이거더래. 그냥 건주진도 최
I have a very short, quick question.
Okay.
Okay, the question is, why all, Diroba or many...
What? Diroba?
Okay, let's say Diroba. Why they will transfer all the people to the cities? I mean, all those people are, almost go to the lower rank. Why not just become, not go to real rank, but they can, it's like you are in the economic class, they upgrade you to the, first class.
Okay.
It's amazing, we have to do so many things and to order to go to the first class. That's my question.
I wish we have met him, so we don't have to do anything. Dine telo bagi lamsa di mi gewa chyo dikin zola. Lamsa dine driba thoba khandes so rese. Mune chena ta khona de nyesong la roya kyop sam chini hyashina dig mare rese. Manzo pe mase de lega mambo lega dos da driba thoba me don don sare. Ni khongi khan chin de di gimzen da khare da khonzo don.
네, 저는 호랑 저거 도르지 창기 강서 대마타고 왔다. 저거 도르지 창기 되네 도세세나래 저거 도르지 창기 주바세나래 저거 도르지 창기 로마세나 저거 도르지 창 대마타고 그래서 코랑게 담화돼서 저와 공주기 줄도 더 다이기 줄 다주기 줄도 더 장난을 얘네들 다 똑바로 내가 저번에는 더 하나 똑바로
So it could be two reasons. One reason is, of course, the power of his siddhi, which he received from Vajradhara and from many teachers, and he was a Mahasiddha. And then another reason is also those people who encounter him in that way, even they seem to be someone who is performing negativities in that particular life, but they must have a very strong connection from the previous life to him. That just by hearing a word from him, they could just be instantly become a siddhi. So there must be some karmic connection also, which usually happen in this way. Even in that particular life, there seem to be someone who is performing negativities, but they must have have to do some with karmic connection from the previous life. So this could be the true reason. Okay, then we stop here. This 10-day teaching of 2022. Thank you. Okay, now we do the dedication prayer with the Sukhavati one. Oh, I think people want to make offering in this hall. If you want, then I will chant Karma Pakeno until you're done the offering. Then when you are all seated back again, then we will do the Sukhavati prayer together. Because I don't want you to miss the last dedication prayer. Okay. Karma Pakeno, Karma Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno. Karama Pakeno, 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 Karama Pakeno. His room, Karama, I will leave you. Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno. Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno, Karama Pakeno. Karama Pakeno, 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 Karama Pakeno. Today we do long life prayer first. Then before the Sonam day, we will do the Amitabha Sukhavati prayer. Okay? 3 times, the long lap prayer. Hoi Jagoi Nyeje Razoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Tele Chidoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Donsoi Wangoi Garamaya Bai Ugyen Dodo Tele Shabde. So 3 times. Jagoi Nyeje Razoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Tele Chidoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Donsoi Wangoi Garamaya Bai Ugyen Dodo Tele Shabde. So Jagoi Nyeje Razoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Tele Chidoi Garamaya Bai Jagoi Donsoi Wangoi Garamaya Bai Ugyen Dodo Tele Shabde. Soya Sishe Banjara Maloi Jove She Tube Temba Yune Nebata Tenzin Shebe Gewoya Damban Banjara Yige Yure Shabde. Chungai Khenpo Daye Ne Domaya Sangye Targeshu Talpai Jewa Samye Sun Chudun Zeje Jogyurai Je. Now the short Sukhavati prayer. Ema woye manzara sangye na woye thaye daye soye jo woye toje chenpo ta yendo senpa tuje thonam la sangye shanse pa me korge kor tege manzara padoye me baye dewaye chenge chave Dane dene seboy görmaya tange vay şenge barmay çebaru tero gene nade şadon soğendege dage malaya daban çocuğu sange şansen tamce gengeme dobra şenge labdo so diya thaya benzayan diya awa bodanaye soya vay çodoy yavay sece kon sonye zolay ceyer Nagen do soyen geza ben konjo somlay chebab Yahweh temboye belgere jenge voye semje kolang Rogoye sangye topyere jenge zaye tamje chedot Nagen yulaye mingere chetemye dane sozo Serene me nyamdo sendere sajoye nengiraji namje zeboy gurmaya tande voy jendo gingiraji kene beme gaje de luden de la sangye sanjoye tome jisen tuben de wa dembarai sho. Our usual dedication and auspicious verses. Ahoy sonam de tamje zeba ye tomne ye bendanaya pamzen Gegoy na je balaya droba ye sebe solen droba droba Yambaya bawa jidai kembaya dan kondo sambo teyai teyen Tedai kunye jesoya dalov jen gewai dedai tamje rabdong Sangye gosoi nyebe shelab dan chenye bengyur dembe chenlab Gedaya Mejaya Debe Shila Shidaya Mawaya Malaya Drubaraya Shon Dushele Jaya Jaya Tele Karamaya Bade Debe Nyebonde Shodraya Kunjaya Jabjen Gemesh Tagba Rambe Belebe Dashi Shon Dane Kewa Tamje Nyame Tagbo Kagyoda Kebara Balde Karamaba Shizu Gendo Mendrai
Thank you.